Greetings, everyone. Welcome to part 2 of the SuperGiants and Carbon Stars podcast. Give me just a second here. I'm going to send out a few alerts on Discord, letting everybody know we're starting the live stream here in about 30 seconds. Alright, welcome everybody to the video here. Following off on last night, we surveyed about half of the Carbon Stars and Red Giants we were looking at on the way to Waypoint 4. This was our final system that we surveyed last night, and I decided, went back and mapped a few of the planets that we kind of skipped over and then landed here, about 300 light seconds from that beautiful red giant in front of us. So today, what we'll be doing is visiting the rest and then making our way to Waypoint 4, which will be sort of the end of the video. So, oh, we got somebody nearby actually, really far below us. Ghost Hawk, Commander Ghost Hawk is near us. So anyway, yesterday we did about these, all these giants here. We still have the rest to do in this line that we found. And then we will finish there and work our way straight up to Waypoint 4, as today is the date that we are scheduled to arrive at Waypoint 4. I'm going to try to keep this video right about an hour, just like last time. And we'll see what we find. So in the meantime, let's go to our first red giant of the trip, an M4 3B. Alright, here we go. Hopefully,
landing gear retracted.
Get this great little mountain. I dubbed it the Matterhorn last night, or some sort of small Matterhorn right here. A little bit wider when I landed. Hoping we won't have an obstructed view. Looks like we definitely will. So let's enter Super Cruise and then we'll jump to our system.
Frameshift drive charging.
Now, I noticed yesterday the audio was a little bit loud in game. So I'm going to quickly try to turn down the master audio here. Let's just turn this down a little bit. All right. We are on our way. So one of the things, I think the biggest takeaway we found yesterday, a few of them, sadly we didn't find much of a correlation between the ages of these Carbon Stars and Giants that we have here. So I was really hoping that with this long line of them, we might find that they were somehow related, at least in their age, which sadly they weren't. A few of them were as young as around 8 billion years, and some of the older ones were around 12 billion years.
Frameshift drive charging.
So let's make our jump here to this system. So it appears that, you know, at least they weren't born at the same date.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Maybe a couple of them had the same origin date. But we did find some trends with the planetary objects within each of those systems. Let's see if this carries suit. So we are the first person here, and it's just one red giant. Let's see how old this one is. Is that a really red giant? Or are we 2 jumps away? 4 billion years. Yeah, that's not a red giant. That's the red dwarf. This is the red giant. We are jumping in now. I was going to say 4 billion years is very, very young for a red giant. Or any type of carbon star for that matter as well.
3, 2, 1.
Alright, so one of the trends we found, though, is that the red giant systems tended to have almost exclusively high metal content and rocky bodies, and the carbon stars kind of had a variation, but they were the ones that contained most of the gas giants that we found yesterday, and they tended to be, you know, higher class, like class 3, class 4 in the carbon star system. Alright, we have 34 bodies here. We do have some, looks like maybe 2 or 3 gas giants. Looks like they're in binary with one another. And this is a very far away one, 106,000. Gas giant with ammonia-based life, alright. And I thought there was a few moons. Yeah. An icy body moon. Looks like it has some geological features. Yeah, 15 geological nitrogen magma. I don't think I've ever seen nitrogen magma. I wonder if that has a nice, nice color to it. All right, let's go back in there. Actually, let's see. I thought there was another gas giant, probably another one with ammonia-based life then. Yep, this one's a little bit darker. And looks like we have a few moons for this one as well. Icy also. Just go ahead and scan these, and then we'll take a look at the high metal contents, and it looks like some asteroids as well. Those will be for the far away secondary star. Alright. Lots of moons, lots of moons. When they first released the FSS, I was hoping it would sort of scan all the moons. So you just had to scan one moon for one of the planets, and then it would scan all of them, so you wouldn't have to do them individually. Alright, so this is a kind of a nice configuration here. We have some sort of symmetry between this 10.5 billion M-class star and this one, both with their own asteroid belt. And then they are sharing the orbit of the gas giants with ammonia-based life. One is much larger than the other. So again, this one's 10.5 billion years. Alright, let's see about these high metal contents. Rockies. I'm hoping they're not all far away. I'm hoping there's a few orbiting our giant. Which it looks like we have one here. Or 2. Another Mars type orange. Really rich in color. And the Rocky. There's one over here. High metal. Another one with an atmosphere. Now the ones we saw yesterday, that most of the ones that were terraformable had this very rich and sort of hazy, dense atmosphere, and they tended to be around 3,000 to 5,000 light seconds away from the parent star. There's a Rocky. Let's finish these up and see what's going on with the terraformable ranges on them, and if there are any. Another Rocky. One right here. Excellent high metal content. Any more? Here we go. So 2,000 light seconds out. Relatively cold comparatively. Orbiting this at 2,000 light seconds out. Temperature 462 Kelvin. So I'm hoping that this one at 2,000 light seconds is a little bit cooler than the ones we saw yesterday. Might be terraformable. That's this one, so it is not. Nope. Okay, that one is at 4,000 light seconds out. It's a little bit warmer. No volcanism. You can see the high carbon dioxide counts. And this one's terraformable. Almost identical to the other one, except the nitrogen and carbon dioxide is flipped, and it's a lot farther out. It's quite interesting. And then this one quite far out. 7,000's not. So let's head over to this one. I like the nitrogen in the atmosphere, and it has a moon that we can check out. In the meantime, let's take a look at the galaxy map, see what we have left to do here. So the next one will be a S-type carbon star. I have an O-class star I tagged there just because I was thinking about swinging by there. Another S-carbon. And then a CN carbon star. And then an S4 carbon star. That's another O-class system. And then another, I think an M4. So really a M3 giant. Or an M giant, red giant. That's an O. There's another carbon star MS. And then some O classes. So we'll skip the O classes for today. We'll just go to, I think we had about 6 giants left we had to go to. And I believe 5 of them are actually carbon stars. Sadly, for me, so far I've seen that all the carbon stars around this area have been previously visited by commanders. Now, that being said, the commanders didn't discover or even bother scanning the planets in those systems, let alone mapping them. So they were probably visited pre-Chapter 4 update. And I got a couple comments yesterday about my head looking. I often would do this and look to the left quite far. That's my head tracker. And I'm looking at my, what I like to think is my ship's computer, which is the laptop located just left of my HUD, to see if there were any comments in the chat. So I'm going to try to minimize that. Look how bright that star is still. 5,000 light seconds away. I don't know, that's like farther than Pluto, I think. That's how big that star is. Really wonderful. I know I keep commenting about, you know, the sort of sheer size of these things and their beauty, but they really are quite wonderful stellar objects, and they make for really wonderful systems to fly around and map. And I do think that, you know, based on what we've seen so far in Part 1 and Part 2, it's either, you know, an incredibly small sample size and I've just gotten lucky, or there is some sort of correlation. But we have found a very high amount of terraformable high metal content worlds, and I think a water world yesterday also. Alright, 6 probes. And I kind of do 2 interlaced triangles. One is far away, hitting the back of the planet, and one is close, hitting the front. Would really make a pentagon shape or a star shape. Alright, where is that moon? Should be right around here.
Surface scan complete.
Yeah, right in front of us. Yep, there you couldn't see him. So that giant star in front of us was blocking my eyesight. I couldn't see anything. So anyone who's watching this, feel free to find out how far 5,000 or 5,400 light seconds really is in relation to the Sol system, and we can see. My guess, that's about 9 minutes. Is that my math right? 9 times 60, that's about 90 minutes. Which sounds kind of Pluto-esque. Sounds quite far out there. Maybe it's only Neptune. I'm going really, really fast. And this is going to be dangerous. And when you get this close, your scanner also does funny things. You try and be super fast and get out of the way.
Surface scan complete.
Beautiful job, look at that. And I got the efficiency target. I'm also wondering, as I check the system map and see what the heck's going on that planet. No volcanism, no atmosphere, nothing really of significance, so let's just part ways with this system then and move on to the next target of this trip, which I believe we already visited this one. Yes, that's an M-class star, so here we go. MS-3B. Going far down now. We're leaving the ones to the right behind. We visited all them. This is sort of the last one of that segment, and then we're going to jump all the way over to that one, which is at S4. So I wonder, do you get an increased efficiency bonus if you, say, hit a target of 6 planet and do it with only 5 probes versus doing it with 6? Or moreover, what if you were able to fully scan a planet that had a 6 efficiency bonus and you tagged it with only 4 probes? Would that give you an even higher increased exploration bonus? Alright, so we got a couple systems to jump through on the way.
Fuel scoping.
I got plenty of fuel. Let's just take a look. Yeah, nothing. A lot of giants there.
Fuel scoping complete.
Well, this stream and this, I guess, mission, if you will, is really about the giant systems and carbon stars, so I'm really not too concerned what's in that system at the moment. And in reality, I tend to even filter out M-class stars when I'm just traveling normally, when I'm trying to get somewhere quickly, because they tend to be kind of boring.
4, 3, 2, 1.
The benefit of an M-class star, though, of course, is that it's small, so it's really easy, if you are trying to go fast, to zing around it, scoop as much fuel as you can, and then engage your FSD. Alright, so yep, my prediction's right. Somebody's been here before, because it's a carbon star. And carbon stars are really easy to isolate on the map view of the galaxy. You can see that sort of cloud in a higher atmosphere, shifting at a different pace than what's below. Alright, so we do have a pretty high-class gas giant. Think that's a 3. Let's see. 14,000 light seconds out. It is a class 3. Maybe there's another one. This one's much closer. And it'll probably have a 3rd one here. With a moon. Another ringed one, pretty close. Clearly some kind of a moon here. A rocky body. I think that's the other one. Oh, so that's all the gas giants in the system. We got a few high metal contents. Looks like a few over here. So I had a pretty crazy day today. My cell phone was switching service providers, my mobile, and they can't do it. Something's wrong with it. So since yesterday, I haven't had cell phone service. Silicate vapor geysers. And I'm not going to have any until next Tuesday is when they think they can actually get it all transferred. And that was quite frustrating, so I figured today would be just a good day to jump in the cockpit of my Type 7, fly around, relax a little bit, look at some pretty sights, and hopefully see something cool. Alright, some geological sites here. I still have not found any biological sites, which is awesome, I guess. Oh, I got some chat here. Stellar Forge is kissing your booty. Laughed my ass off. I'm so lucky. The efficiency bonus is the same regardless of how many fuel probes you use. Okay, great. Thanks for the answer. And when you're not flying a yellow toaster, you can even charge while scooping and save a few precious seconds. That's great comments, Commander Adrian. I appreciate it. Yellow toaster. I always thought it was like the mini Space Cow. Is kind of my beloved name for it. Again, this is the GSS Oculus Marilia, which is my the eye into the ocean's heart. That's a beautiful landable. No volcanism. Pretty close to the star. Couple Class 3 Giants. Alright, so again, this Carbon Star system, you can immediately tell, is just different in formulation than has been our red giants that we've been seeing. So we have gas giants. They're a little bit more complex of a system, whereas the red giant systems that we've been looking at have been almost exclusively high metal content and Rockies, with a few landables, most of them not landable, and they're older systems. So what we see here is 8.6 billion years old, which our red giants have tended to be a little bit older, and that is counterintuitive to what we think we should find, because it's my understanding that a carbon star is sort of older, if you will, or at least at a later stage in life than a standard red giant. Alright, so I have been challenged that my yellow toaster cannot charge while scooping. So yes, that is a common complaint of the Lakon ships, especially the types, the Type 7, 9, and 6, is that they run hot. So I have like really hyper-engineered this thing to run really cool. I think my power plant runs at a 0.13 heat efficiency, clean drives. Now normally I do explore without my shields on or my power distributor. I was hoping I'd be doing a little landing in this video, but let's just take a look and see how well this thing does. Plus it gets around the star a lot faster. Alright, here we go. Now I can immediately charge. Scooping, 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 scooping.
Frameshift drive charging.
Oh, and I hit my FSD a little bit late on that. But look, only 82%. As long as I'm out of the fuel scooping area before I reach 100%, then it won't gain any more heat even while charging, so I won't do any damage to the ship. So I tend to charge about 2/3 of my FSD while still scooping, and then get my butt out of there. I can't show you here because this is a white dwarf nobody's ever been to before, and it's really shimmering quite wonderful. While we're talking about it, let's put my money where my mouth is, turn off the shield generator. I also turn off the power distributor, and a shield booster's already off. So that's kind of my non-essentials. Anything of cool interest here? Some ices, some asteroid belts, and some type of a giant, maybe a class 1. Let's find out where that bad boy is. So don't hate on the Lakons. The engineers have done a great job with them. Alright.
Frameshift drive charging.
I'll have to show you on another star because I can't really scoop this one. But I'm going to jump while looking at it. It's really nice.
Ready to engage. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Alright. Got a little hot there. been here. Nope, nobody's been here. This is an S-Class star, correct? One of the first carbons we've seen on this trip that have not been previously discovered. Are you sure? It certainly looks like it is an S-Class star. I wonder if an S-Class star is closer, if you will, to a standard red giant than is, say, an MS or a CN, because the system makeup here is much more closely aligned with what we see in a standard red giant system rather than a carbon star. So I'll have to do a little bit of research on this, you know, tonight or tomorrow, and maybe I'll put it in the notes of the video or make a post on the forums about carbon stars and what really are the differences between. I think there's like, oh, I bet that one's terraformable. This is what we saw yesterday. So that's 4,000 light seconds away from the star, temperature of 700 degrees Kelvin. It's a little bit cooler than we saw yesterday, but at the same distance, I would be willing to bet my my imaginary shipmates, I don't know. I didn't have anything. I was going to say something, but I'm trying to keep this family friendly. I'll bet that it's terraformable. I'll bet 1 billion credits. Yep, it is terraformable. And neither of these. So we're seeing that correlation with this S-Class carbon star, which again, this makeup is really what we've seen from the red giants and not the carbon stars. So I'm really curious to know the difference between S, MS, CN, and I thought there was a fourth one, but at least there's those three. So on the way out here, we'll take another look at the system map. And of course I'll tag this just to make Commander Adrian a little jealous about all these terraformables I've seen, calling me lucky. He says, can't hate the Lacons. I own too many of them. Yup. I am a huge fan of the Lacons. For those of you that know me, you know I flew a Type 6 on the Norma mission, which was, I think, a 2 or 3, maybe like 2-month trip around the Norma arm, moving, if you will, galactic west to the north, and then back through the bubble, or through the core. And I did love that Type 6, but I did run into some power issues with that. And the damn thing couldn't take off when I dismissed it in my SRV. It was overloaded in power. My power plant was down to like 76% health. I don't remember, maybe Adrian remembers what the heck happened to that ship, why the power plant got so damaged. I don't remember any sort of cataclysmic crash or anything. I know I did some neutron jumping, and I'm sure I bumped into a few stars and planets. But I don't, you know, it's weird that my power plant got so low. And then what happens when it gets really low, it starts performing at less than optimal efficiency, which means its power output is less, which means it can't power all your modules as much as it wants to, and your thrusters just couldn't get the darn thing off the air. But I did love that Type 6. Now, because Distant Worlds 2, I'm also signed up to be a miner. The Type 6 is just too small to be able to carry any mining gear with it and have enough cargo space to really make that worthwhile. Now, they did buff the Type 7 as far as its jump range, so now it's slightly better than the Type 6. And its maneuverability is greatly increased. So I tell you what, I cannot recommend the Type 7 as a great long-distance explorer. It has all the room to carry all your modules, a lot like a Python, with very similar jump range, better cockpit view. At least you can see more out the windows, which is important if you're doing VR or head tracking like I am. Plus, it's beautiful. I really think the Lakon shipping, cargo ships are just gorgeous. And I think there were 36 of them registered. Come on, I didn't get my bonus? Did I scan that planet? Still scanning. I guess I did not hit that correctly. That's kind of embarrassing. What percentage did I scan this thing? 87%. Of course, I really missed a large part of the back. That should do it. And I'm already over the bonus. So screw it for the sake of completion. I guess the next question for anybody that knows, is there a penalty for going over the efficiency bonus? So that's going to take me 9.
Surface scan complete.
So I wonder if I'm going to get less money for that than I would if I had done it in 8. Alright, regardless, let's head on. We're 2 jumps away. I'm going into a red dwarf, so I will show off my incredible fuel scooping ability on this Lakon. Yeah, so one of the things, the traits I was looking for in my ship
3, 2, 1.
was also to have a ship that not many people were bringing on the mission. I think there were, at the time I signed up, about a week or 2 before launch, there were about 100 Pythons and about 30 Type 7, so either would have been wonderful. And I do, look at this, alright. Scooping, now let's jump, scooping. Almost peak efficiency, and I was trying to brag, and now I'm going to overheat. Alright, well that didn't go as planned. But look how cool my ship runs! This is why they say don't fly distracted. Don't live stream, don't drink, don't listen to your wife. Oh, that's a pretty star. Oops. I did visit that O star. Actually, 0 for 2 here in a second. Let's just see what's here. Class 5 or 4 gas giant. While we're here. Now, I will say this, that it does run pretty hot on the A and F class stars. That's cool. Look at that. Jeez, that's really pretty. It'd be so great when those lava worlds become landable. One more body. There it is.
System scan complete.
Alright, let me turn off the bookmarks for these O's. You know, I was down here looking for things to visit, and I found a lot of these O-class stars. So I started bookmarking them, and that's when I noticed all the giants. That's a big one. H476. It's a pretty dense region. Somebody just texted about giants. Let's see, what was that? Best so far are the SuperGiants. Well, join my live stream. Visiting 20 undiscovered red giants and carbon stars. Hooray. Nothing like a little self-promotion there. Alright.
Drive charging.
Let's do this better. I will be a little more cautious when I scoop this giant. Alright, Adrian, what are you saying here? Some chat? Nope, you just don't get the bonus. Laughing out loud, crying. Some sort of emoji tipped over like he's drunk. Yeah. Not yet. A little bit last night. Maybe tonight. Advertisement. That's right. Self-promotion. Charging FSD.
Charging.
Scooping. This is a little more appropriate. And we're good to go. Fully scooped. Alright, we're going into another S-Star. So last time the S-Star looked a lot like the M-Class Giants, not the S-Giants.
2, 1.
So we'll see if this one follows suits. And if anybody's been here, nobody's been to this one either. That's weird.
System scan.
One
complete.
orbital body. Well, you are an exciting system, aren't you? There's that hazy cloud cover. Which I'll have to check. Doesn't get time to go on Discord, let alone YouTube. Better to fly distracted. 8.5. So this was the same age as the last S-Star. We're also busy flying spaceship. Space! So this is a CN. We got a few jumps to get here. We're going to fly through a red dwarf system, so we'll take a look and see if it has the haze that we've seen on the Giants and the Carbon Stars. And we'll see what the CN Star has in store for us.
4, 3, 2,
Now, because this live stream has a specific purpose, I'm really trying to just do some preliminary surveying of these Red Giant systems, like I said, and just sort of see what the makeup of the systems are. I'll be the first to admit that, yeah, it does kind of have that hazy
System
cloud
scan
cover, doesn't it?
complete.
Oh, that
System
ruins my
scan
excitement.
complete.
I'm going to pretend I didn't see that.
Charging.
So, I'm not even doing a full FSS scan on many of these systems that we're going to. I'm certainly not mapping as many planets as I would. If you remember yesterday, I
3,
must have skipped over 5 or 6 terraformables just for the sake of the live stream, because it does take a long time to map systems, especially when you're trying to map multiple planets in the same systems, because the gravity well, really slows you down. Once you have to kind of stop in front of that planet that close, by the time you're ready to get on the move again, it takes a long time to get up, even to the speed of light. Alright, let's just see. Nope.
frameshift drive charging.
Scooping while jumping in my toaster. I've also heard it called the flying brick. But I think it's gorgeous.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Now, I don't know if you noticed my secret. I jettisoned a heatsink a little bit ago when I was cooking myself in that. Oh, somebody's been here and tagged a planet already. When I was scooping, I didn't want to hurt any modules, so now that we can synthesize heat sinks, I'm a little more liberal with their use. Alright, 15 bodies, so this is a CN. So we do have a gas giant. Looks like a class 2. I'm guessing. I don't know if any of you have used that overlay that Obsidian Ant, I think, or no, it was Cohen Leth had been talking about. That puts a little description underneath your FSS to let you know exactly what you're looking at. Class 3 with rings. Not as on it today as I was yesterday. I was getting everything right yesterday. That's nice. Looks like that has an atmosphere. So, again, for the sake of time, we've been on for about 50 minutes now. I do want to just check the high metal content worlds. And see what we have. It looks like we have 2 here. Rocky. Rocky looks identical. This one is a high metal. That looks like the other ones. And again, we're at 4,000 light seconds and 862 temperature. Now this is a CN star, so I don't know if it follows the same suit, but I'm going to go ahead and guess that this is terraformable. Yep. And that's why it was discovered by Mark the Mint Man. Like to always give you credit. Normally, again, I'd fly out there and map it because I do like the rings on those. I would like to see them, but I do want to get through this system and see the final 2 carbon stars we are going to go visit today. What are you? And how did I miss you? Another hazy rocky body. Here we go. High metal. A little close, it looks like, to be terraformable. Now my question is, how did... What was his name? Mark the Mint Man? I'm guessing he was here before the release of Chapter 4 and the new exploration tools, or he probably would have scanned the whole system. So how did he know that was the terraformable planet? I guess it's possible he was using ED Discovery and it gives him his distance for terraformable, and that it was the only one. So he flew out there and scanned it, but before you would have to go up and actually scan the darn thing, and then you would find out if it's terraformable, which means he probably would have had to done it with some of these other ones too, you know, like this one, but he didn't, so he must have been using EDD. Anyway, I digress. Let's go. Alright, looks like we have 3 more left. An S3.
Frameshift drive charging.
2 jumps away. And for those of you that are interested, this Type 6 has a jump range of a usable jump range of about 56 light years, max of about 58. I did bring a little extra heavy shields and power distributor for constant boost. That will help out with mining as well. And 2 other pieces of equipment. Ooh, rocky ice and water world. Where is that water world? Here you are. One water world. Ooh. And of course it's terraformable. It's always when you're in a hurry.
Scooping complete.
Let's see, how long has the stream been going on? Looks like almost an hour. Of course it's terraformable, right? Alright, let's go out there and map it. I can't call myself an explorer if I don't at least go out there and shoot some probes at it. Maybe what we'll do is I'd like to wrap this up in the next 10 minutes. So we'll kind of see where we are after I map this guy. And it would be so sweet if I could use the FSS while I'm flying in Super Cruise. It would certainly make me much more likely, oh great, just grab something else, to fly out to these planets and map them if I could not have to throttle down. I don't have to throttle down to look at my galaxy map or my system map. Surely my FSS, my scanner, can adapt itself. Oh, that looks like a carbon star dead ahead of me. I don't know if you can see it on the resolution of the video, but dead ahead of me looks like a carbon star. It has a sort of more neon-y yellow, like a neon yellow color, as opposed to, say, a G. F tends to be a little bit more white, and the G tends to be a little less kind of radioactive looking than a carbon star is. So you can kind of see them. Plus carbon stars are bigger, right? So they're easier to see in your skybox, if you will, or out your windshield than a normal star, normal G star, or whatever sort. That's why we see all these O's and B-class stars in front of me. But it's so bright, it's kind of blocking the view of all the other stars that are certainly around me. And again, you may be asking, isn't he close to waypoint 4? Why the heck are there not more stars in the galactic sky? Well, that is a good question. They're all up there. So I'm way below the galactic plane. That's up almost directly above me, which is where waypoint 4 is at this point. So as I make my way there, you would notice the higher density of the stars. But we're about, I think, 1,200 light years below the galactic plane, which would put us in, I don't believe we're in the halo. What is it? Not the galactic disk. There's like an inner galactic disk and an upper galactic disk. I know, you should know this. I've written in video and streamed about this stuff before. I don't think we're in the halo. The halo is going to be around 2,500 to 3,000 light years below the plane. We are in the kind of different area. Whatever. You gotta go. Cool thing I've noticed is you can jump while it's still scanning, and even if you engage your FSD, you'll get that notice. Even if I'm already mid-jump, if I'm like right here, it would still give us, it would still show up in the scan body. Now you want to trust yourself that you did it correctly, that you did actually probe the planet correctly, or you're going to jump out of the system without, you know, without getting the mapping. Alright, I think this was an S. Alright, again, as you see, one planet's already been discovered, 10 total bodies, somebody's already been here before. There is a water world, and I'm sure that's the one that somebody went and looked at already. No distance and temperature information. Cool. Good job, FSS. Maybe you're too busy finding all those asteroid belts to actually scan this. I don't know if you can see that, but down here on the left, there's no distance or temperature info. So I won't be able to know if that's likely terraformable or not until I look at the system map. Here's a landable. Terraformable discovered. Codex updated. I've never noticed that before. Did anybody see that note? At the top right, right underneath the sort of minerals on the planet, I'd never noticed that before. That sure looks terraformable though, but it didn't give me the alert. That's weird. Maybe it's too close. It was 2,600 light seconds out, not 4,000. So, you guys probably think I was cheating when I was guessing if it was terraformable or not. I had no idea it gave me that notice and let me know if it was terraformable or not. Alright, where the heck are you? Any of you guys looked over here? Nope. Nope, not there. Here's one. It goes so fast, though. Look at that. That's really cool. Biological. Of course, geological. Not to downplay geysers and that. They're quite beautiful. And a fan of all kinds of anomalies and phenomenon that we see. Let's see if you're on this plane. Are you back there? Where's the last one? Again, always in a hurry, you find the water worlds. Alright. It is not terraformable, but the water world is, so it did give me that notice. Alright, well, we're gonna have to skip this one. I know, disgrace. Disgraceful! I do want to find that last body, though. Now that I'm farther from the star, maybe that'll help. But you remember how I said that everything becomes a little more compact. It should be somewhere around this orbit. Just like the other ones that it was in between. Is it a rogue orbit? I'm probably going right by it, and you guys are like, come on, Dumbo, right over there. It should be right. I don't see it behind the star. It should be like right here. Look, those are all the other planets. Nope. Oh, awesome. Super cool. Great video. Oh my goodness. You're making me crazy. Alright, well, whatever. There's 2 more to go to. Let's quickly go there.
Frameshift drive charging.
Let's see, did anybody in chat see that? You know, I agree.
Ready to
Probe it like you mean it.
3, 2,
I agree, but I've definitely seen a terraformable water world before, so why is it giving me that codex information? I mean, I've seen 20 terraformable water worlds on this trip already. Is it per region? You know, maybe I just made it to a different region, and so it's my first terraformable water world of this region? I guess that could be.
frameshift drive
Am I
charging.
in a different region? Inner Scooter Centaurus Arm. That's also the Inner Scooter Centaurus Arm, I believe.
4, 3,
So, maybe I went to a new region. Either way, gosh, they really got to pop that up there and tell you if it's terraformable. Alright. Sorry for the little blip out there. Not sure what's happening to the feed. Alright, here we are. Probe it like you mean it. That's right, that should be the ship's name.
Scoping. System scan.
Alright, so this one's just stars. Let's quickly check the age. 10.3 for a red giant. Nothing around it. Sad face. No planets. It's probably the exploration gods giving me a middle finger for not going out and mapping that terraformable water world like I should have, nor finishing the scan of that system for that rogue high metal content planet I couldn't find, of course.
4, 3, 2,
Again, I'm normally not this embarrassing of an explorer. I would usually go map that, and I would certainly wait till I found that last planet, but I want to do science. I want to figure science out. Alright, this is our last star. Make it count, FDev. This is a carbon star.
fuel scooping.
Fuel scooping 17 bodies. This is not a carbon star. This is, I think, a G.
Frameshift drive charging.
We're going to a red dwarf. We are 3 jumps away. Well, I guess some parting words for everyone. I hope you are all having a wonderful Distant Worlds trip, for those of you that are on the expedition. For those of you that are not, I still hope your exploration still has an itch inside of you, and you're out on safe journeys, exploring whatever you're exploring. And more so, I certainly hope that this video is really just meant to be an introduction into some of the ways that you can explore in Elite, rather than just going to look for shiny things, which is what I like. You know, looking for beautiful vistas and taking pictures and just sort of taking in all the sights, or just exploring to tag Earth-like worlds and that, which I also like to do. But there's a story. The galaxy has a story embedded within it, and I am interested in uncovering this story, trying to find patterns, in the hope that we can uncover its secrets, just like real astronomy. Alright, MS Star, here we go.
4, 3, 2, 1.
The last of the 20 carbon stars and giants. This is an MS carbon star. My guess, it has a class 3 gas giant and a few moons. Somebody's been here before. 11 bodies. I assure you, I haven't been here before. No gas giants, just high metals and Rockies. Alright, well, that also kind of blows out of the water some of my theories. Maybe it's got biological life. Wait for it. Wait for it. Keep waiting for it. 20 geological. Yep. Cool. Alright. A few more rocky bodies. It looks like this has just rocky bodies and a few landable high metal contents. That one is not landable. Let's see. Predictions? No. Too hot. Too close. I wonder, are you guys throwing, you know, your mouse at your computer screen right now, laughing at me for passing by all these terraformable planets and water worlds and wonderful sights? Probably. I don't blame you. I'm mentally throwing things at it. Alright. Last time metal. What you got here? Scanning. Scanning. Arsenic. That's cool. 2 silicate vapor geysers. Alright, well, good job. Here's the system map. Those are some big landable planets. The atmosphere of those planets was likely blown off during the red giant phase, because they're quite close to the star. 400 light seconds, 1,000 light seconds from a big carbon star like this. For how large they are, I mean, you can see that's 1.4 G, 1.4 G, 2 G, and 2 G. Those with that kind of silicate vapor and their atmospheric, well, makeup, I think it would have had an atmosphere, is my point. But now that atmosphere has since been blown away when this star entered the giant phase. Oh, Red Fox, you're famous. So now they're actually landable, as opposed to these, which are similar, right? 2 Gs, 1.6 Gs, similar composition, right? 67%. Look at that, 67.3. Yeah, let's do it like this. 67.3% rock and metal. 67.3, 67.3, 67.3. So all these are really like identical planets. It's just these outer ones have still retained their atmosphere when the inner ones got blown off. Again, there's a little bit of narrative that I create. You know, that's a story that I just told. I have no idea if the atmosphere of those planets really got blown off or not, but it seems likely. Anywho, Thanks for joining. Thanks for watching. And please subscribe and share this video with fellow explorers and those of you that are interested in giant stars and carbon stars. Until next time, this is Commander Parabolus signing off.